Got done paying off my not paying off my car, but I'm paying my car currently right now. And let me know if this is a scam. I'm pretty sure it is. I was young when I got this car, guys. Please don't get mad at me. But so my car payment a month is $600. I used to work like in the Dallas area, and my car basically broke down, the car that I previously had, and I needed a car to go to work like badly. I had no money saved up. My mom told me, oh, it's a good idea, get this car. So my mom was really the one who like pushed me to get the car, even though I knew that $500 a month was way too much. At first my car was $500 a month, and then later on, like 6 months later, they told me that I needed to start paying collateral or something like that. So they're charging me an extra $100 now. So now $600 a month. And I mean, it takes away like literally like a big chunk of my paycheck. And the car payment itself is it's just too much, right? Like it takes so much fucking money for me. Usually people's car payments are like $300 and stuff like that. But since my down payment was so little, now it's $600 a month, and it's a big mistake I have to live with. I guess you learned. I hate this car.
Oh, the poor guy. That's his first car and he hates it. The problem with 600 a month, if you really break it down, is that you're probably looking at a what, three, maybe even $400 insurance payment. God, he's such a young guy. It might even be higher. And then if he got an SUV or something, he probably is going to be paying a lot of gas too. So yeah, it's got him to the point where now he has a nice vehicle, but absolutely no money after he pays everything.
I told you guys about my older sister that has her car since high school, right? Well, I pay $1,000 for my car payment every month. But in that $1,000 is included any repairs, any oil changes, anything is covered for me for a lifetime, right? So my sister's car breaks down, if not every month, at least every 2 months, and she's having to pay for repairs every single time, right? So that adds up if you think about it. So she just called me right now and she said, I'm trading in my old cars for new cars because they're just breaking down on me. And literally that's my point exactly. I'd rather pay $1,000 a month knowing that all my repairs are going to be covered in case anything were to happen, rather than my car constantly breaking down. I'm sure if she were to add up all the repairs that she's paid for her car in the past 10-15 years, it's going to be way more over than if she was paying $1,000 a month. So when you think about it, $1,000 car payment is not that bad. It doesn't mean that she or anyone else needs to get a high bougie car, whatever, as long as it's a reliable car, which I already know that's what she's gonna do. She's probably not gonna get like a brand new car off the lot, but a used good one, which is totally fine.
So let's talk about this because I totally disagree with her and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are below. Paying $1,000 a month just for your vehicle, that's 12 grand a year. That sounds like modern day torture to me. Even if her sister had a catastrophic breakdown of her vehicle every month, she would probably still pay less than $1,000 a month. I don't remember at the beginning of that video if she said that her sister had a used car that's paid off or if she's still paying payments. I suppose if you're paying, $700 for a used car payment, and then on top of that, you're paying repairs, that would suck. But I don't agree with her at all. Tell me what you guys think. I would rather have repairs all the time than $1,000 a month car payment.
Guys, the Scat Pack is getting towed. Now, it's not getting towed because it's going to go off to the shop or anything, but I'm actually 4 months late on my payments. I know it can be kind of embarrassing, but, I'm just going to put it out there because the car channel is going to go away. So there's no point in, trying to hide it anymore. Guys, honestly, if you guys have any experience with repos or tows, like what's the best thing to do? Should I just give it up to the bank? Should I try to take out a loan to finish paying it for the couple months? Guys, let me know what I should do, but it is going to be gone. Once they tow this one, I might have to come for this one, check if it's on Loctite. But one last remote start.
You know what I don't understand? People will say, like, hey, I've gone 4 months without a payment, but you figure during that time they would catch up on some bills and then, get their finances straight. But apparently they once they get behind, they never catch up.
Apparently, having a low car payment is embarrassing. I've been in this conversation in a comment section on TikTok about the way people spend their money for the last week or so, and I've been getting a lot of comments from people trying to make it seem like it's embarrassing that I have a low car payment. Their comments are always something to the effect of, well, you just can't afford anything more, or your car is probably old, or you probably drive a crappy car. First of all, We can talk more about affordability and what it really means to be able to afford something, but I promise you, if we wanted to afford something more expensive, we definitely could. Second of all, our car is a 2019. It never breaks down. It's in very good condition. The only problem we've ever had with it is that I had to get the front brake pads replaced a few months ago. When we bought the car, it was only 3 years old, and it averages about 38 miles per gallon, and I often get up to 45 miles per gallon. The only reason to buy something nicer is for appearances.
Right.
And I promise you that the wealthy and the rich people that you know didn't get there by spending their money on things that made them look rich.
She believes in the millionaire next door where you own a used car and you pay it off and you keep it till you run it in the dirt. And there's some really, really good stuff that comes with that. If you guys can get used to delaying gratification, you don't need the brand new car. Stay with the car that your folks gave you and that you've had for 5 or 6 years. Run that bad boy in the ground. And in the meantime, save a little extra change on the side. And then who knows, maybe you'll get lucky and opportunity will pop up where you can buy a car outright. And then that feels really good to just go a long time without any car payments at all. Also, when you own your car, you can choose to just pay liability on insurance, whereas if you have an auto loan, unless they've changed something since I was younger, I believe you're forced to have full insurance when you have some sort of loan against the car. Okay, this guy here kind of blows my mind, and I think it's because he's young. Visually speaking, tell me what you guys think he is age-wise. To me, he looks like he's no older than 24, and he might even be younger than that. He's got an Enterprise shirt on, which I don't know what that means. He could be a manager at Enterprise, or it could just be a shirt he picked up out of a Goodwill or something. But he seems to be under the impression that having a good-sized car payment is absolutely no big deal. And it kind of blows me away, but it might be because I'm old-fashioned.
A $1,400 car payment, it's not bad, depending on the car and depending on your situation. A lot of people be caught up in, oh my God, you pay that much a month, I can pay that in rent, Bro, you don't make any money. You just don't make no money. If you want a nice car, nice car, Corvette, Hellcat, whatever, Benz, what you think your payment gonna be? If you can't afford it, just don't get it. That's where the disconnect is. People make $2,500 a month and got a $1,400 car payment, then that's a little different. But if you make $8,000 and above, get the car you want.
So he makes a good point, but notice the cars he's talking about. When you're talking about a Corvette or a Mercedes or a BMW, you can kind of understand somebody having an $800, $900, $1,000 payment each month. At least I feel like it's a little bit more reasonable. But when somebody just has a Honda or a Corolla or a Toyota, you're kind of hoping for something that's closer to $450 maybe, and even $450 sounds high to me. When I was younger, I was always jealous because there would be people that were older than me that had a perfect credit score, and they would get cars that were super expensive. And then you would say, how much did you put down? And they would say 0. How much is your car payment? And they would say this crazy low, like $272 payment. And it's like, wow, all that for having good credit?
That was what we could afford. Do you all realize that people who are broke?
Okay, real quick, because we got to read this together. Having 2 car payments while only one person has a job is insane to me. My husband and I both work and have no car payments because we buy what we can afford. So I think that's true, but sometimes people get put in weird circumstances. Let's hear what her reply is to this.
That was what we could afford. Do you all realize that people who are broke are pigeonholed into a certain way of buying because we don't have thousands of dollars to drop on a vehicle at one time? We had to get a car payment because that was the only affordable option for us at the time. I love how everybody just goes and applies their own shit to our situation. Do you not think that these are set up exactly that way to pigeonhole people into predatory loans? We didn't want 2 car payments either. But you know what we got? A used 2008 and a 2016 Kia that has a lawsuit against it because the engine likes to blow up. We didn't get the best cars. We got the cheap fucking shit that's out there. Shut up, you overzealous mother.
I love these people. She's going a little over the top, but it's because she's tired of being poor. And when you're tired of being poor, things irritate you. Life is not fair. Sometimes you have to take a walk, cool down. This too shall pass. Poor girl. My God, she's stressed out. She's definitely stressed out.
Story time of how I ended up with 2 car payments.
Oh shit.
So I got my very first car in 2020. It was a 2016 Volkswagen Passat. That car ended up getting totaled out. There's a whole nother story behind that, but that car ended up getting totaled out. I believe I owed $12,000 on it, but the insurance only paid me out $9,000, and then my gap insurance covered a little portion of it. So I ended up owing like a little bit over $2,000. The very next day, I found out I was pregnant with my second son. So you guys can only imagine like how agitating that was and how crazy like I felt. Like I just felt like everything was crashing down on me at once. So for about 4 months of my pregnancy, I went out without a vehicle. I finally got a vehicle when I was like 4 months pregnant. I got a 2014 Audi A4. So everything's going fine. And about 2 years into having the vehicle, it starts to mess up. Like every time I try to start it, it won't start. It's shutting off in the middle of the road. Like I get the battery changed. It starts to start up. It stops, messing up for about a good, I would say, 6 months. Then soon as the 6 months over, the car starts shutting off again. It won't start. But I went on YouTube, and us girls, we're gonna find a way for our car to keep going because we just don't want to deal with car problems, right? Like I'm just a girl. So I saw this video on YouTube that if I press the gas, like start it up and press the gas at the same time, the car would crank up. So my car was cranking up. So I was doing this for like a full year. I was doing this for like a full year till like one day it just stopped. Like it would not crank up. It started to shake. It started to mess up. And I already knew this is a foreign car, so I'm going to end up having to come out of pocket. I already know they're going to charge me an arm and a leg to get it fixed. So I go and get it fixed. I believe they charged me like $1,800.
Oh.
The car drives fine. Like it's driving smooth for like the first week. Here goes the car messing up again.
Ugh.
So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta at least trade this car in or get a new car, because at this point I started this job and the commute was like 25 minutes from my house.
So now she's going to trade it in and become upside down and probably take on an additional car loan.
So at this point, I'm like, I would never get a German car again. I'm going to get a Honda or a Toyota. And I knew that because I owed on this car. I believe I owed, I want to say $9,000. It's a 2014, so they probably only going to go me like, what, $7,000 for it. And I did not want that negative equity into my Toyota that I got. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to probably end up with 2 cars. Like they wouldn't even take it because they didn't know exactly what's wrong with it, and they knew I wouldn't get a good deal. I'm going to have 2 car loans, so a lot of lenders are probably not going to give me a rate or a loan anyways. So I let them know, like, I want to either Toyota, a Honda, or a Mazda. I know Hondas are usually on the higher price size year-wise. So, they brought me a Corolla, and I got this car. Mind you, you guys, like, I didn't have no time to fix my credit.
Ooh,
this time
bad
around.
credit.
I believe my credit score was like a 627. Oh my God. I believe my interest rate for this car is 18%. Like it's just ridiculous. So not only do I have 2 car payments now one interest rate is low and the other one's extremely high. But in order to get a low interest rate on this car, I have to get rid of the other car, which would bring my credit score up to refinance this one. Like I just feel like this world is literally a scam. Like every time you turn around is money, like money.
I bet you when she bought that Audi, she thought, hey, this is a good car. And she didn't realize that when things start to go wrong on those cars, it's $1,800 plus, right? It's super expensive. Not that all cars aren't, but I think she could have done a little bit better homework. And once you start going downward in life, like she's doing, it's really hard to kind of bounce back up. So you got to really be careful.
Really was controversial. I saw a video going around about this recently, and it really was controversial for some reason, which I find surprising. It is the truth. We nowadays, and you see these videos going around, from like the car dealerships. Oh, how much is your car payment? How much is your car payment? And everybody's saying, 800 or above, like $1,500, $1,600, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But they're doing that. They're trying to reach their target audience, which obviously it's working because people are now starting to think this is normal. $1,000 car payment's normal. $700 car payment's normal. Like that's just how much cars cost. No. If you're middle class, your car payment is going to be the biggest factor on whether or not you can build wealth. That is the single biggest factor. And it's the one thing that you have control of. Is it nice to have to drive a shitty car? No, it's embarrassing. I've done it before. I didn't like it. But because we didn't have that car payment, we were able to buy a house.
She brings up a really awesome point. Guys, the only one that's embarrassed about your car is you. Nobody else has time to really care about it. And yes, the people at work might laugh and smirk, but they're the ones that are paying $1,000 a month. I think the real joke is on the people that are paying 4 digits a month for their cars. She's exactly right. If you can somehow own a car with no car payment, I think everybody, including rich people, would agree that's a W. That's a victory.
Have you seen the TikTok going around about people normalizing their car payment?
Just did.
Well, I want to normalize not having a car payment.
Yeah.
And choosing not to have a car payment. So before I had my current car, I had a 2020 GMC Acadia, fully loaded. And I loved it. It was great. It rode awesome. But I was paying like $500 a month for her. And I didn't want to pay $500 a month for her because in today's world, in today's economy, it just does not make sense.
Now notice she's down to earth. She doesn't want to pay $500 because she already knows since 2020, paying $500 each and every month, and let's be honest, 4 weeks goes by super fast. Right after you pay one car payment, it's darn near time to pay another. It gets really old. So that person that's paying $1,000 a month, she might love it right now, the first couple of months in. But what about when your car turns 2, 3, 4 years old? That payment is going to become really annoying.
So, me and my husband went out looking for something, and this is what we found. Ain't she pretty? She's a 2003 GMC Envoy XL. She's got 3 rows for all the kids, and she runs just fine. She's got 120,000 miles on her, but she does all right. And she's awesome. She works great. She works just as fine as the Acadia did for our family. And I don't have a car payment.
I'm glad that she's proud. She probably knows, and so does her husband, that that vehicle is probably going to need 3 or 4 grand worth of repairs every 2 or 3 years, but they've already probably planned that in. Also, repairs on those older cars, they might be a little bit less in cost. You car aficionados would know better than I do. With that being said, yet again, we watch a video together. I hope you come back and watch some more with me. I'll see you then.